All right, so check it out. Check it out, 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 check it out. I want to start off this morning with a pretty fascinating, it's hard to call them coincidences anymore because they happen so often. But every day I start off with my Morning Five Planner, and at the top of the Morning Five Planner is a quote that is submitted by actual members of this community. And those quotes were submitted over a year ago, printed into the books, distributed around the world. And this morning I open it up and there's a quote from Coach Colo Mogani. And I apologize, my throat is jacked this morning. So Colo Mogani is the quote was submitted by her this morning. And the quote says this, it says, "A flower does not think of competing with the flower next to it. It just blooms. A flower does not think of competing with the flower next to it. It just blooms." And so I read that quote this morning. I thought, well, that is a beautiful quote and a beautiful way to look at life, right? Let's not be worried about what so-and-so's doing to our left or what so-and-so's doing to our right, but instead, let's just focus on what we've got going on right here, and let's make it the best version of ourselves that we can possibly be, which is right in line with what we're talking about this week, which is this self-mastery, which starts with self-discipline and then goes into self-awareness, which is what we're going to talk about today. But that's not, that's a stretch as far as a coincidence. But check this out. The person who actually said that quote is a guy named Zenki Shibayama. Zenkei Shibayama. And so I thought, well, let me look him up and let's see who he is. And when you look him up, he was born in 1894 and was an ordained Zen monk in 1908. Zenki Shibayama was Zen master. He was Zen master for 25 years. This week, we are in a series called Self-Mastery. And this dude, whose quote just happens to land on Taco Tuesday of this week in our Morning Five Planner, was a Zen master, a master of self. Tell me these things are not choreographed. Tell me all this stuff isn't put together ultimately for our favor. I love it. This happens to us all the time with the Morning Five Planner. Thank you to those of you who follow your instincts and submit your favorite quotes. It really makes for a fascinating morning. Every single day it makes an impact. So thank you for that. Wanted to start off today's episode with that. We're going to dive more into the self-awareness and self-mastery here in just a minute. But you know what time it is. It's time to rise and grind. Good morning and welcome to #Rise and Grind, the #1 morning show in the world filled with motivation, education, and inspiration. I am your host, Glenn Lundy, husband to 1, father to 8, and the founder of the 800% Club, the club designed to help you unlock your full potential. Each episode is filled with celebrity interviews, inspiring conversations, and the strategies you need to get ahead in your career and your life. So grab your pen and turn up the volume because it's time to rise and grind. Hey, good morning, good morning, good morning. How are you, my friend? How are you, my friend? Dude, today is Tuesday. That's right. Today is Tuesday, also known as Taco Tuesday, June 27th, 2023. What's crazy is today is the very first and the very last time it'll ever be Tuesday, June 27th, 2023. So I want to make sure we make the absolute most, and I do mean the absolute most, of this absolutely incredible day. I love Tuesdays, especially when I'm in town. I love Tuesdays. Tuesdays are the days that my wife and I, we go over to grandma's house, my mom's house in Paris, Kentucky, and my stepdad, he makes the most delicious tacos. I usually eat between 6 and 8 of these delicious tacos, and he makes tacos, and grandma chases the kids around, and my wife and I sit on the couch, and we kind of become lazy bums for about 2 hours, and it's like the most amazing thing every single week. Yes, we get to see grandma. Yes, we get to see grandpa. That part is incredible. The tacos are phenomenal, but man, something about that little tiny break where we can just sit still and be present with one another is so incredibly impactful. It's impactful in our relationship. It's impactful in our week. And so I'm just always so incredibly grateful for Taco Tuesday. Thanks, Grandma. I know you're watching the show. I appreciate you. So listen, yesterday here on #Rise and Grind, we launched this series called Self Mastery, right? Mastery of one's self. And in order to move in that direction, right? Achieving self-mastery is a lifelong journey. In order to move in that direction, it starts with self-discipline. We talked about this yesterday. So self-discipline is defined as the ability to control one's feelings and overcome one's weaknesses. The ability to pursue what one thinks is right, despite temptations to abandon it. So we broke down self-discipline and what that looks like, obviously, when it comes to our health and nutrition and exercise decisions and all of that stuff. But anything, all of these emotional triggers, the subconscious things that happen in our lives, self-discipline is really the secret sauce, right? It's the Jamba Juice. It's the formula. It's the main ingredient. This ability to be disciplined to oneself is step one in the requirement of moving towards self-mastery. Now, self-discipline is defined as the ability to control one's feelings and overcome one's weaknesses. Self-mastery is another level. Self-mastery is when you have developed this skill, you now have the ability to control yourself in all situations. And you move forward consciously and steadily towards your goals, no matter what's happening around you. You know your purpose, and you have the self-discipline needed to do things in a very deliberate, focused, and honorable way. All right, you picking up what I'm putting down? Self-discipline, the ability to control one's feelings, overcome the weaknesses, pursue what you think is right despite temptation. Self-mastery, you have the ability to control yourself in all situations, which includes your emotions, right? And move forward towards the goal, knowing your purpose, which requires self-discipline to do this. So I know it's early. I'm breaking down some definitions for you. I'm doing this very intentionally so that we can understand the difference. It's not enough to just be disciplined. That will not make you a master of self. However, there is no master of self without discipline. You feel me? So I'm going to share with you, I think there's a guy who captures it pretty great. I'm going to share with you his video. There's one little part of it that's a little but for the most part, he really captures what this looks like and what this feels like. And so I'm going to share it with you right now.
There are many practices in this world that people set out to achieve mastery in. Mastery of an instrument, martial art, or perhaps business. But one of the least heard of yet most rewarding is self-mastery. Self-mastery means having supreme control over your thoughts, feelings, and actions. It is undoubtedly a lifelong practice that takes much time and continuous effort, but will inevitably grant you a life of ease, simplicity, and control. I'd like to elaborate on this by telling you the story of the two masters. Two masters, who lived in very different parts of town, shared a similar evening one night. They both left their apartment around 7 to meet a date they had arranged to meet previously with quite some enthusiasm. They successfully met their dates around an hour later, both young attractive girls with charm and class. The first master's date was disappointing to say the least. Him and his date had very little chemistry and ran out of things to talk about at an impressive rate. The two had virtually nothing in common, and his date seemed surprisingly cold compared to when they first met. They shared drinks by the river for 1 hour and parted ways, with no hint of a second date. The second master took his date to a nearby rooftop bar, where they shared a wonderful evening overlooking the city. They enjoyed fun conversation and plenty of common ground. The girl proved to be quite a match, and uniquely beautiful too. After drinks, they walked back to her plush and expensive apartment, boasting a wonderful view of the city. They had passionate sex all night and shared intimate stories over pillow talk, caressing each other till they fell asleep in each other's arms. By 10 AM the next day, which of the two masters do you think felt happier and more content? The answer is neither. They both were equally as happy and at ease in the morning. This might sound strange to some, but mastery means being rooted in the present, no longer dependent on external achievements to find true peace and contentment. And before any of you say that sounds silly or unrealistic, the story of the two masters is actually based on 2 separate dates I myself experienced. Though I'm very reluctant to brand myself a master, as I still have much practicing to do, the story remains the same. By the next morning on both occasions, I was once again rooted in the present, and no longer thinking about the events that occurred during the previous night to find happiness. When you find true stillness and contentment within, you will still enjoy the pleasures and adventures of life, but once they are over, you are back to your natural state of bliss and presence, detached from your achievements or downfalls. To conquer yourself, you must conquer your perceptions and judgments. Perceptions are everything. Practice observing things without judgment, allowing their natural essence to shine through without coercion, remaining mindful and in control. If you find yourself indulging in toxic judgments that lower your mood, take a moment and simply say, "It is what it is." Choose perceptions based on a higher truth that empower you and others, not based on what society or somebody of a negative nature might say. Eventually, your negative perceptions will start to fade away, being replaced by healthy, positive ones, allowing you to be so much more at ease in life. Peace and ease are our natural state. Life is meant to be fun and easy. Of course, in the current world we live in today, this is incredibly challenging to achieve. But once we start letting go of our negative and fearful beliefs, replacing them with empowering and truthful ideals, things will start to change for us very quickly. Societal beliefs have an enormous impact on us as individuals, including our genetics, but sadly many of them are outdated and disempowering. For so long I've heard people say life is a struggle and money is the root of all evil, but these are ultimately nothing more than outdated paradigms based on false information gathered a long time ago. And because so many of us still believe them, that is often the case for us. Our perceptions and beliefs are very real and powerful. They contain unique vibrations and frequencies that affect our biology, genetics, and surroundings. If every time someone said life is hard, they said life is a joyous and grand adventure, that is the life that most of us would be experiencing today. You can take back your power by no longer buying into lies that aren't serving you, questioning everything and actively choosing your own fate. Underneath everything, our natural state is heaven, and we are powerful creators with the ability to change the world. Practice mindfulness and meditation to master your thoughts, emotions, and intentions. You will master your life in ways you never thought possible. Of course, material success has its place in this world. There is nothing wrong with desiring money, success, and possessions. It is not greedy or indulgent, but essential for a full life. But if you can enjoy these things in a state of detachment, not dependent on them for inner peace, you will enjoy both spiritual and material success, which is a very rare combination. Try this experiment. Spend 1 hour every day sitting in a comfortable position in total silence. No phone, internet, or any other stimulation. Root yourself in the present and enjoy beautiful simplicity. Meditate. The present moment holds all the glory you need. Over time, you'll see that true happiness and enlightenment has been under your nose the entire time. It is a discipline that takes much practice, but over time you will start to obtain self-mastery for yourself. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next video.
So listen, raw, sex with someone you just met is not necessarily the example I would particularly use. However, everything else that he shared in that video, I thought was really powerful. I don't know if you caught it or not, but he said, underneath everything is heaven. Underneath everything is heaven. Like, what a beautiful thought, right? That if you strip back the layers, the beliefs that we have, the stories we've been told, the stories we tell ourselves, and the stories we tell others, if we strip that back, underneath it all is heaven. He said in that video, life is a struggle was a belief that he had picked up, that he had been told, which even just that sentence, if you really examine life is a struggle, if you really examine that, that is big time a limiting belief that comes from a distant past. Like, if you really look at the reality of today, if you're in America anyway, I mean, dude, there's so much abundance. Life is actually far easier today than ever. Relationships can be complicated, and parenting can get complicated, and the dynamics of our work and our play and investments that we want to make in the different areas of our lives can be complicated. But can we really call it a struggle? Like, I think of those that came before us, especially on the, I mean, all sides, but I immediately jumped to, on my dad's side, on the African American side of me. And I think, bro, 100 years ago, my uncle lives over in Manassas, Virginia, lives in this beautiful, beautiful place out there. And I think 100 years ago, my ancestors, well, maybe 150 years ago, my ancestors were slaves, bro, picking cotton for 16 hours a day while jacked up on cocaine that they were forced to take for nothing, and lived that way for a lot of them for their entire lives. Our life's a struggle? Come on. It's a limiting belief. It's an old mindset. It's an old thought. We have medicines now that we never had before. We have tools now that we never had before. We have access now that we never had before. We have the ability to connect, the ability to collaborate, the ability to learn and grow. I mean, golly, before you had to buy like one book in an encyclopedia to get some information, right? Now we got ChatGPT. You can just type something in and write out the entire encyclopedia for you. Come on. At some point, we have to be aware of the limiting beliefs and the thoughts and the things that are keeping us from our greatness. And that's where self-mastery comes in. We're going to continue to talk about that. I'm already 20 minutes into the show, which is great. But before I keep going, you know what we got to do. I'm hitting y'all heavy this morning. Y'all like, whoa, Glenn. You gangbanging on bacon, bro? Right? It's like, nah, I'm just tired. Oh, why did it do that? I'm just tired of. Ooh. And if y'all know me long enough, y'all know on this show, like, God just puts things on my heart, in my head, and they just come out my mouth. So I'm trying to watch my words here, but God's telling me not to watch my words. So I'm tired of you making excuses for why you can't. We're just gonna leave it right there. For those of you that know, and those of you that don't know, this is the part of the show where I need you to hit that share button. That's right, I need you to hit that share button, because I believe if we can change the way people start their day, it'll make a massive impact on this planet. I truly believe that. And sometimes all it takes is to change the way you start your day. All right, so share this out. Also, this is the part of the show where I want you to say good morning to me, and I want to say good morning to you. Whether you're watching live or you're watching on replay, say what's up. I'll say what's up back. All right, Alicia Moore, good morning. I'm glad you're here. Roddy Rock Hatfield, good morning. I'm glad you're here. Rick Tamburino, thanks for joining me here this morning, man. I greatly appreciate it. Young Johnson's in the building. Yes, Mary Lynn Wilkin, gangbanging on bacon. You know how that go. Vicky Everett in the building. Getting dad jokes. Don Sankey getting dad jokes from ChatGPT. Oh, I love that. Melvin Rodriguez, good morning. Emily Galler, I'm glad you're here today. Tosh Queen, what up, what up, what up? Valerie Oakley, let's go. Bella Rigby, Sonia Merritt, Jacqueline Underwood, Renee Knorr, the Queen, is in the building. Russell Hill, what up? What up, what up, what up? Did I say hi to Ramon? What's up, Ramon? I'm glad you're here. Angela Heath is in the building as well. Thanks, Randy Wagner. I appreciate you. Nicole Settles, Mike Strong. Let's go. Let's go. Beautiful. All right, we got Dr. Tanji's up in here. Felicia. Who else is over on Clubhouse? Muhammad and Marcy and Leslie. Annette, good morning. Piper, good morning. Renee, good morning. Rhett, good morning. Rebecca, good morning. Kurt, good morning. Felicia and Luis. What up, Jennifer? How you doing, Jane? Muhammad and Bawali and Shoba and Wanda and Natalia. I love that name. Natalia is in the building. Wavonte, am I saying that right? I hope I am. Wavonte is in the building. Jason's in the building. Serene is in the building as well. Thanks for joining me from all around the world. It is such an honor and a plum-pleasing pleasure to be able to start my day with you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I really appreciate it. All right, we're going to continue to go a little bit deeper on this today. So thanks for joining me. And self-mastery. So we talked about self-discipline. Now we're diving into self-awareness. All this on our journey for self-mastery. All right, so check it out, all right? In order to begin to master oneself, one first must be aware of self. You must be self-aware. You can't master self if you're not aware of self. So what does that mean, right? Well, self-aware, if you look at the actual definition, which is something that you should always do, look up words so that you have a full understanding of what they mean. Self-aware says to have a conscious knowledge of one's own character and feelings. We are self-aware enough to know we're making mistakes. All right, having conscious knowledge of one's own character and feelings. So listen, I'm going to break this down. Let me break this down to you in very simple, explain it like a 5-year-old could understand it, which is something that we should all do more often, is when we're trying to express, like, I listen to there's some people that I listen to and I can tell they're using all these big high level intellectual words, and I'm like, bro, you're losing me. Not because I don't understand the words, but I don't understand why you're using such big words. If you have a message that you want people to receive, like, bring it down to where a 5-year-old can understand it, and it's a game changer. So just a little something between me and you. All right, so we're gonna break this down real basic terms. All right, you've got the mind, you have the body, and you have the spirit. Okay, these are the 3 key components that make up who we are. Now, there's lots of other stuff, right, Candace? Okay, there's, lots of other pieces. There's the intellect, and there's the subconscious and the conscious, and so on and so forth. We're not gonna go into all of that. All right, mind, body, spirit. So self-mastery starts with self-discipline and leaks into self-awareness. We have to be aware authentically of our mind, our body, and our spirit, and where they are and what they're experiencing in the present. Okay, this is the key. All right, so your mind, this guy right here, the thinker, the thing that's thinking right now, right? Okay, then you've got your body, right? This physical vessel that carries everything around, moves us physically in this plane from point A to point B, okay? And then you've got the spirit, which is the part of us that connects us, intertwines us with God and with each other, okay? Mind, body, spirit. Awareness is an audit. It's really a check-in, right? How do I feel? How do I feel mentally, right? Like mentally, what are the stories that I'm saying to myself? Where is my mind at right now, right? How do I feel physically? Do I like my body? Do I not like my body? When I look in the mirror, am I cool? Am I like, this is the vessel that I want carrying me around? And spiritually, how do I feel? Do I feel abundant or do I feel small? Am I connected to source, which is huge and ever omnipresent, or am I connected to things of this earth that are lack and shortage, right? It's an audit of mind, body, spirit. Now, on the other side of that, we have past, present, and future. Okay, mind, body, spirit, past, present, and future. The peace that you are seeking exists only in the present. I'm going to say that one more time. The peace that you are seeking in your life exists only in the present. Most humans that I've had the honor of connecting with spend the majority of their time in the past, thinking about things that have happened to them or believing in things that they've experienced prior, or in the future, wishing, hoping, desiring things they currently do not have or are not experiencing, and yet they wish they did. That's where most people spend most of their time. Thinking about the past or existing based on it, desiring for and focused on the future, but peace only exists in the present.
Get up and go on with your life. It's all right to sit around, be depressed for a minute, cry about it, do whatever you have to, but don't stay there too long. Get up and go on with your life. So you know what this is what I learned in all these years on this earth. If somebody want to walk out of your life, let them go. Especially if you know you done everything you can do, you done sat around and been the best man or the best woman you could be, and they still want to go, let them go. Whatever they're running after, they'll see what they had in a minute, but by then it's going to be too late. Because you'll sit there and you'll go, because half these people you be sitting around crying about it, worry about 2-3 years from now, you ain't going to even remember their last name. How many times you done seen folks somewhere, you be like, what the hell was I thinking? Let folks go, son. Some people come in your life for a lifetime, some come for a season. You got to know which is which. And you're going to always mess up when you mix them seasonal people up with lifetime expectations. You can't, they got people that done got married with people they was only supposed to be with for a season. They done got married to people they only supposed to be with for a season and wonder why they having so much hell in their life. That was a person that was supposed to come and teach you one thing. You didn't know it, so you just fell in love. And now you wonder why, yeah, you ain't got no peace, nowhere you go. No. Listen, I put everybody that come in my life in the category of a tree. Some people are like leaves on a tree. Wind blow, they over here. They unstable. Blow the other way, they over here. Ain't nothing. Season change, they wither and die, they gone. It's all right. That's some people. Most people in the world are like that. They just there to take from the tree. They ain't there to do nothing but take and give shade every now and then. That's all they can do. But don't get mad at people like that. That's who they are. They ain't gonna never be nothing. That's what they put on this earth to be, but be what they are, a leaf. Some people are like a branch on that tree. You gotta be careful with them branches too, because they'll fool you. They'll get there and make you think they're a good friend and they're real strong, but the minute you step out there on them, they'll break and leave you high and dry. But if you find you 2 or 3 people in your life that's like the roots at the bottom of that tree, you are blessed, because that's them the kind of people that ain't going nowhere. They ain't worried about being seen. Don't nobody have to know that they know you. They ain't got to know what they doing for you. But if them roots wasn't there, that tree couldn't live. You understand? And they ain't got a tree can have 100 million branches, but only a few roots down at the bottom to make sure it get everything it needs. I'm telling you, son, when you get you some roots, hold on to them, but the rest of it, let it go. Just let it go. Let folks go. Ain't nobody saying it was gonna be easy, but it'll get easy when you learn how to love yourself. When you get to a point in your life where you look at people and you go, okay, wait a minute, you or me, you will make a decision. Because when you telling folks to do something, and I never throw nobody away. I've never in my life just thrown nobody away. Just say, look, don't bother me no more. Don't talk to me. I've never done it. What I do is I tell you, say, look, this thing you doing right here, that's going to cause a problem. You need to fix that, because if we're going to be friends, we're going to be cool, you got to fix that. And if you don't, we're going to have an issue. If you see somebody fix it or they even trying to fix it, that's somebody that care. Keep them people around. That's a leaf that's trying to grow up and be something else. You understand? But if you tell somebody that what you're doing is hurting me and I need you to stop it, and they keep doing it, they don't care, move on, let them go. No matter how much it hurts, let them go. And it'll get easier, I promise you, every day it'll get easier and easier and easier if you just gotta make it through. You hear me, son? And see, you gotta learn how to be by yourself, son. People have to learn how to be alone. I don't understand all these people, oh, I need somebody. Lord, where's my man? Lord, where's my woman? That is crazy as hell. If you don't know how to be by yourself, what you gonna do with somebody else? Stop praying about it. Shut up and wait. Go work on you. Hell, that's what that time is for, to get yourself together. I'd rather be in a corner by myself with a puppy and a goldfish and be happy than to be sitting around with somebody in my house. I'm wondering what the hell they there for. You would be surprised the things people put up with just to have somebody to say they love them. That's I don't understand. I can't live in dysfunction. I'm sorry. I done come through too much, been through too much hell and high water to come there and let you come up in my adult life where I'm supposed to be at peace and give me all kind of hell. Only 2 places on this earth you're gonna have peace: the grave and your house. Now, if you can't walk up in your house and you ain't got no peace, something wrong. I'm sorry. People be rebuking Satan. I be rebuking Satan and beating the hell out of everything that's up in there till they get out. I'm sorry. You got to go. This is mine. You hear me, Sonny? For sure. You better hear me for sure.
Whether it be a person, a thought, a belief, a story, there will be no peace until you let it go. Peace only exists in the present. It's not in the past. It's not in the future. And this is what it really means to be self-aware. Aware of where your mind, your body, and your spirit, what each of them is experiencing in the now, and then applying the self-discipline to reshape that if it does not serve you. Because underneath it all is heaven. This divine design, these pieces that have been put together preemptively, strategically. Just like the flower does not think of competing with the other flower next to it, it just blooms. You, my friend, are a child of God, right? The God of the universe, the God that made everything. And that God made you to be the best version of yourself that you can possibly be. Not an average version, not a little bit above average, not a little bit below, but the absolute best version of yourself, you, that you can possibly be. You. And so listen, I love you. I do. If nobody's told you yet today, I want to be the first. I absolutely stinking love you. And so it's out of love that I say to you, stop. The actions, the thoughts, the beliefs that are keeping you from your greatness, just stop. Do an audit. Become aware. Do an audit. Become aware. And let it go so that you can move into the greatness in this peaceful space that you deserve, and that ultimately will allow you to make a bigger impact on others. Does that sound fair? Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for being with me today. I'm gonna head over to Clubhouse. For those of you watching live, you're welcome to come join me. Be on Clubhouse for the next 20 minutes or so. If you're watching on replay, thank you so much. Make sure you drop your name, drop a comment so that I know you stopped by. I would greatly, greatly appreciate that. And then I'll be back 5:30 a.m. tomorrow morning. We're going to continue this discussion around self-mastery. Starts with self-discipline, leads into self-awareness, and we're going to continue the journey later this week. Thanks for joining me.
You're not so far away. I saw you not so long ago. Was it just yesterday? Got that old feeling that I know. In the dark of the night, I'll be alright. The sun will arise. The sun will arise. The sun will of messages overtaking what I know. A war is a whisper, and it's coming for my soul. In the dark of the night, I can see the light. The sun will arise. The sun will arise. The sun will arise. I was searching for someone to fight for me, I'll remember it's your light that shines on me. I won't be afraid, I will look to the light. I will not be shaken, I know it will be alright. 'Cause you're with me, I know that the sun will